Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you, as always, for taking time out to watch the videos. I really appreciate it. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and discuss in this video, and if I sound a little bit more excited than usual, it's because some of the topics we have to discuss within this video, in my opinion, are very exciting. So before we dive into it, do me a favor, hit the like button to help the video out and show your support. And if you are new here to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Now, the first thing I want to let you know is the PlayStation Plus games for March 2022 have been revealed by Sony, and you're looking at Ark Survival Evolved, Team Sonic Racing, and Ghost Runner for PS5. And Sony is letting us know that they are also giving us Ghost of Tsushima Legends as a bonus title for PlayStation Plus members this month, which I think is awesome. You guys know I love Ghost of Tsushima, and I played a ton of Legends. And so if you're somebody who hasn't experienced it, I highly recommend it. It's a really good time. But on top of that, Sony is letting us know that they are gradually rolling out the ability to share your PS5 game captures through the PlayStation app in more regions. Americas are first up, with more countries next month. So I just wanted to be sure to let everybody know about this. I think that's something that a lot of people are going to use and take advantage of. But now we're moving on to some of the more significant topics, starting with a March PlayStation event or showcase, or possibly a state of play. I know some people are thinking, well, we talk about this every month, but from what I've been seeing, it seems that Sony has always been planning something for early this year, but it was kind of up in the air as to whether or not they were going to do it in February or March, and now we seem to have confirmation from a pretty reliable PlayStation insider that it's happening in March. And so I'm talking about Special Nick, also known as Nick Baker from the Xbox Era podcast, which I think is kind of ironic because he hosts an Xbox podcast, but yet he's one of the only legitimate sources of information for PlayStation info. But he was responding to Tom Henderson, who is also another well-respected insider. Tom Henderson says, not a scoop or anything, but surely PlayStation has to be doing something in March. There's too many things aligning that suggest it's probably the case. And so Nick Baker quote tweets him and says, happy to add to what's already out there. Yes, they've got a show in March. This is supposed to be the good one. Now, he does not specify whether or not this is a state of play or a traditional showcase, but I'm going to say, based off of him saying it's going to be the good one, it's leaning more towards it being a bigger showcase of some kind. Maybe like an hour-long showcase, 40-minute-long showcase, maybe something crazy like an hour-and-a-half-long showcase. You never really can tell with PlayStation, but this is getting PlayStation fans very excited because we've been hearing this for a little while now, right? That Sony is apparently doing something in March. And what's interesting is that if they do end up doing a showcase in March, the timing is certainly interesting because that's not really the usual time for an event, right? So it does kind of make me think maybe there's a chance it could just be a state of play, and I don't want to get anybody's hopes too high, although it's hard not to be excited because, you know, GT7 is releasing on March 4th, and after that, the only other game we really know about is God of War Ragnarok, and we don't have a date, and we haven't really seen all too much of it so far. So, you know, the timing of it, even though it is a little bit strange, it also does make sense. It would make sense if Sony was like, hey, now we're going to come out and show you all these new games, and we're going to talk about PSVR 2, and we're going to give you some release dates and all this stuff. I think that's certainly a real possibility. But it's hard to say, you know, this is one of those things where we have to take it with a grain of salt. And I'm sure that even Nick Baker is limited in what he actually knows. But according to his source, yes, they are doing a good show. Can't really say a big show, but we'll say a good show in March. And it seems like it does have a chance to be the big one we've all been waiting for. So yeah, we'll just have to sit tight. And if this does turn out to be true, we will surely hear about it in the next few weeks. So let me know what you think. If Sony is going to do some type of show in March, do you think it's more likely to be a state of play, or do you think that Sony is going to end up doing a big showcase that obviously everybody would be excited about? The next topic is one that honestly I am still just kind of blown away by. We're talking about Elden Ring. The reviews for Elden Ring have dropped, and I just can't believe what I'm seeing right now. Right now on Metacritic, Elden Ring, based off of 45 critic reviews, is sitting at a 97, which is insane. It's insane to see that this game is reviewing this well. Now, there is no doubt that Elden Ring was always going to be a good game. I don't think anybody ever really doubted that. I think most people were always expecting a good game. A lot of people were even expecting a masterpiece, but I don't think many people were expecting to be looking at a 97 score on Metacritic. And I think as of right now, it's in the running to be possibly the highest reviewed video game of all time on Metacritic, which is, again, just insane. Like, let that sink in for a moment. I was not expecting to see this, but when you look, there are 45 positive reviews. It's the #1 best PlayStation 5 game of 2022, and it's just awesome, honestly. As somebody who was looking forward to this game, as somebody who is a huge Souls fan, big fan of Bloodborne, I couldn't be happier to see this, and I'm really happy to see just how successful this game is going to be. But something else I have to talk about, because I know many of you are thinking this, and I think it's understandable why some people are still thinking about this. We talked about just how close PlayStation seems to be with FromSoftware these days, shining a bright light on Elden Ring, Miyazaki, and yeah, it's just something that's been happening, and we've been speculating, is Sony maybe trying to pursue FromSoftware and acquire them? And we've also talked about how it would be a little bit more complicated. It's not like they're just an independent studio that Sony can scoop up. It's really not that simple. But after seeing Elden Ring get a 97 on Metacritic, knowing that Sony cares very much about review scores and about prestige, and they do care about Metacritic scores, knowing that they have a very good relationship with FromSoftware, I have to wonder if they weren't previously pursuing FromSoftware, if maybe their tune is going to change, if maybe Sony is now willing to do some things that maybe they weren't prior, to try and bring FromSoftware in to the PlayStation Studios family permanently, not just through a partnership. This is just something I'm wondering, because I said it, I think, like 5 or 6, maybe even 7 times on my last podcast episode, and also because people were asking me who I would like to see Sony get. FromSoftware is my #1 pick. I think that they just would fit perfectly underneath PlayStation Studios. I also said that I wouldn't really care too much if they wanted to keep their games multi-platform, but I just think that considering, the prestige that, surrounds PlayStation and their studios, and now looking at, let's face it, FromSoftware was already one of the most respected video game studios and developers in the world. After Elden Ring, though, they are now on another level. Like, they're on a level of their own with this release of Elden Ring. And so I just have to wonder, at this point, are they looking better in the eyes of other publishers than they were previously? We have to think about that. Again, we're in a time of consolidation. FromSoftware is a Japanese studio, but still, if somebody, I think, wanted to scoop them up through Kadokawa, I think they could make that happen. And so, yeah, we'll have to see, guys. I just kind of wanted to talk about this and speculate, because, I know it's just kind of at the forefront of some people's minds right now. And yeah, but nonetheless, man, congratulations to FromSoftware. That is truly an incredible feat that very, 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 very few games or developers ever achieve. So, good on them, man. Good on them. But the final topic I have for you is something that is very exciting to me. This is coming from the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit, where I came across a thread that says Resident Evil history page updated with upscaled artwork, screenshots, and descriptions of Code Veronica, Outbreak, and Outbreak File 2. And this has led many to begin speculating that Capcom is teasing some type of an announcement of maybe Code Veronica, Outbreak, and Outbreak File 2 remaster or possibly remakes of some kind. And it's understandable why people would think this, because somebody pointed out, Jelly Belly, they said Outbreak art is more than a simple upscale. Looks like they completely changed the textures and even updated some of them. Just a reminder that Outbreak was in the NVIDIA leak. For those who don't know this NVIDIA leak, it's one of the biggest gaming leaks that ever occurred, and it was legit. Every game that was on there, of course, some maybe, will get canceled or have got canceled, but every game that was on there was legitimate at the time, and Resident Evil Outbreak was there, I believe, alongside Resident Evil 4 Remake. So I just had to mention this to you guys because, we talk about a PlayStation rumor being around the corner. We're hearing that Resident Evil 4 Remake is apparently set to be revealed early this year, and, we're approaching March. And now apparently they're updating, Outbreak File 2, and Code Veronica, their artwork and screenshots on the history page. I don't know, man. I don't know. As somebody who absolutely adored Resident Evil Outbreak and Outbreak File 2, I've kind of always been wondering, why hasn't Capcom done anything more with these games, especially now? These games were maybe a little bit ahead of their time. They were like, co-op Resident Evil experiences. But the technology kind of limited it. I feel like they're primed for a comeback of some kind, here in 2022. And I don't know. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but this is definitely something we might want to keep an eye on and pay attention to. And if you are a Code Veronica fan, an Outbreak fan, this may indicate that Capcom might be teasing something and they may have some plans, which is very exciting. So yeah, that's going to do it for the video, guys. Definitely an exciting one. Be sure to leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. I'll be interested to see what you had to say. Leave the video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.